Hello and welcome back to the channel, and a very happy new year to all of you. I'd just like to start off by saying a massive thank you for all of the support on my channel last year. Hopefully it will continue to grow in 2024, so thank you for sticking with me, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. In this video I will be talking about my favourite midfield options. Now we've got some really popular players like Son and Salah out for a couple of game weeks. I thought it'd be worth looking at some midfielders that have caught my eye. We've got some popular ones and we've also got quite a few differentials to discuss. So let's get straight into it. We are kicking off proceedings, if you will pardon the pun, with Anthony Elanga, who is only owned by 2% of managers. He is 5.1 million, and I think that's a really nice price point for a midfielder. If Forest have a fixture that I'm not feeling particularly confident about, I wouldn't mind putting him on the bench. With players like Saka, there are times where I don't think Arsenal are going to have this, but for that amount of money, I can't have that sitting on my bench. Whereas the bracket, 5.1 million, wouldn't feel too bad. Hopefully would reduce benching headaches. He's not necessarily a priority transfer for me, but if I was wildcarding, I would definitely have him in my team. So far this season, he's got 76 points, averaging 3.8 points per match. He's had 4 goals and 6 assists. Impressive enough. I know you're thinking, Yelena, why are you talking about Elanga? Low ownership. A decent record, but not amazing. I will tell you, in recent game weeks, since Nuno took over, he has produced attacking returns in all 3 of Forest's fixtures. He's earned 22 points in that time, thanks to a goal and 3 assists. He looks like he's going to be a really integral attacking part of the team. And whilst I was really sad to see Cooper go, Forest just looked like they've had a resurgence this season. I was a bit nervous about the relegation situation, but I think they're going to be okay. But Forest have been really attacking and they seem to be able to get goals in, even though they don't necessarily look like the stronger side. So game week 21, they've got Brentford away. Forest are a lot stronger at home, so I think I'd probably back them more in game week 22 against Arsenal, and they also do seem to step up against the bigger teams. But Brentford away, I own Pinnock in my defence. I know Brentford's flaws defensively, so I can see them definitely scoring there. And then we've touched on Arsenal in game week 22. Game week 23, they've got Bournemouth away. Again, a nice easy fixture for them. And game week 24, Newcastle away. Newcastle are incredibly strong at home, so I think this is a fixture that Forest will struggle in. However, Newcastle's defence, as a double Newcastle defence owner, I think that Forest have a good chance. But game week 24 is quite a while away, so we'll see how strong Newcastle are by the time we get there. But I just really like Elanga, and for that price point, I think he's worth the punt. He is a differential that could really help you fly through the ranks if he continues attacking the way he is. And hopefully, I don't think necessarily we'll have a massive haul from him, but if we just get those points consistently ticking along, look at Watkins, he's helped so many teams by just getting assists regularly, week in, week out, he is there. So Elanga would be one I think I'm very tempted to go for. And then next up, and much more popular, we have got Jarrod Bowen. His ownership is so much higher, 32.9%, and I'm very nervous about not owning him and would like to bring him in. He is a priority transfer. He's 8.1 million, so he is more expensive. But if you're downgrading Son or Salah, it's an easy move to do. He's got 111 points in total this season, averaging 5.8 points per match, and he's had 11 goals and 2 assists. West Ham have also got some really nice fixtures coming up. Sheffield United away, then Bournemouth at home. Then they go to Manchester United away and Arsenal at home. They are red fixtures on the fixture difficulty ratings. But Manchester United, do we think that's going to be a tough fixture? I don't think so. And then Arsenal at home, again, I can see Bowen getting some goals in. His data is looking good. His expected goal involvement per 90 is 0.53. The only concern I have about Bowen is the fact that he did go down at the end of the game against Bristol City on Sunday night. I'm unsure of how serious the injury is. He was kind of carried off or assisted off. And unfortunately, the press conference on West Ham will come after the deadline because the games are split over 2 weekends for this game week, so don't forget that. It's a bit of a risk to take when there's no guarantee he will play. In my gut, I think he's going to be okay, but I don't know whether that's just me trying to wish it into existence. The game was on the 7th of January, and West Ham's next fixture against Sheffield United isn't until the 21st of January. So that is plenty of time for him to rest up. Hopefully we'll get some sort of leaked photos from training where he's doing cartwheels and we can all tell he's absolutely fine and will play against Sheffield. But I missed out on the Sheffield United fixture last game week and I didn't bring in Foden. I was absolutely kicking myself. So I would really like to have Bowen in the team for that fixture. He could even be a captaincy shout. I'm not sure. We'll discuss captaincy in my team selection video later this week. But Jarrod Bowen is definitely one that I have got my eye on. And then this guy is already in my team, but I thought it would be worth talking about anyway. We have got Richarlison. He's had 5 goals in the past 6 game weeks, which is the most out of any midfielders in that time period. I'll be honest, owning him has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I thought it was going to be a bit more straightforward, but it's been fairly stressful. But he's 6.9 million, so he is cheaper than Bowen, and he's only selected by 8% of managers, which I was really shocked about. I thought his ownership was going to be more around 20%, but I guess everyone's got Son, so I'm assuming that with Son out, everyone's going to do kind of a sideways transfer, save a bit of money, bring in Richarlison instead. He's playing up front. He looks really good. Well, I say that. Emotional roller coaster having him. But I can see his ownership definitely going up in the next couple of game weeks. So far this season, he's got 73 points, averaging 4.3 points per match. He's had 6 goals and 3 assists. He's also had the most big chances out of all the midfielders, with 7 in total in the last 6 game weeks. He's maybe a bit of a short-term punt with Werner coming in. Maddison will be back from injury, and then obviously Son is going to return in a couple of game weeks. We're not sure when, but I don't know whether Richarlison is going to be necessarily nailed. I was a little bit concerned about his minutes also in recent game weeks. In game week 19, he only played 64 minutes against Brighton, but in game week 20, this did increase to 81 minutes against Bournemouth. But I do think for this period of time where Son is out, Richarlison is a really, really nice transfer. Would I prioritise it now if I didn't have him in my team? I'm not 100% sure. I think it depends on how much you want that Spurs attacker and that kind of Son replacement. The other good thing about Richarlison is it looks likely that he's going to be on penalties. Back in the summer, Postecoglou did say that Son, Maddison, Richarlison were all in the mix for penalties. So with those two out at the moment, Richarlison is guaranteed to be on them, but it's definitely worth paying close attention to Maddison's return date, obviously when Son's coming back, and also what's going to happen with Werner. It'd be strange seeing him back in the Premier League. And then if we just have, gosh, I forget about these slides. And then if we just have a look, his expected goal involvement per 90 is 0.71. Lovely. Keep that coming. But the upcoming fixtures, they've got Manchester United away. Again, don't think that's necessarily a red fixture. Then Brentford at home, Everton away, Brighton at home. Can definitely see Richarlison and Spurs dominating those games, hopefully. That might be a bit too optimistic. But I do think he is a really, really nice pick. And then another differential coming in, we have got Olise. I've seen a lot of people discuss him, so I thought I'd have a closer look at him. His ownership is very low, much lower than I was expecting, 1.6%. I think at this point we can just assume that I am rubbish at guessing the ownership percentages, so everything is a surprise. His price is 5.9 million. Already this season, he's got 55 points, averaging 6.1 points per match. He's had 5 goals and 1 assist. The reason Olise has caught my eye is because in recent weeks, he has been on top form. Since game week 17, he has scored 4 goals and picked up 8 bonus points. And these have been fairly difficult fixtures as well. They've played City, Brighton, Chelsea and Brentford. He's on set pieces, he's got goal threat, he's had 18 shots and 3 big chances in this past 6 game weeks. He is currently flagged with a hamstring injury on the app. So that is one to keep a close eye on. Palace do seem to be getting better though. I think I had Eze at the start of the season. That was an absolute disaster. But I do really like Palace and I do like having the assets for them. Again, they have got mixed fixtures. They've got Arsenal, they've got Sheffield, and Sheffield is a home game. So that could be a big haul incoming for Olise. And then they've got Brighton, then they've got Chelsea. I really like this as a punt, and again, 1.6% ownership just makes me want to get him in even more. Next pick is Pascal Gross. Gross is one that I'm always surprised he's not in more teams. He's selected by 4.3% of managers, and he's only 6.4 million. He's on 82 points so far this season, and he's had 3 goals and 6 assists. He's a really, really creative player, and he's produced 22 key passes over the past 6 game weeks. According to the fixture difficult ratings as well, Brighton are just absolutely laughing. They've got the best fixtures coming up with Wolves, Luton and Palace in the next 3 game weeks, followed by Spurs away. Gross is just a nice, comfortable option, I think, from that Brighton squad. He is secure for minutes. He'll be on penalties if Pedro's off the pitch, and Pedro seems to have fallen out with De Zerbi. Not really sure what's going on there, but I think there is a high chance that Gross will be taking a penalty if one comes up. And he's a nice all-rounder. I think just a safe, lovely, you can rely on Pascal Gross to be at home to cook your dinner when you get in from work. He's that kind of player. But he is still a differential. Less than 5% of managers own him. So again, if he has a haul within him, that will help you fly through the ranks. And then we have got my favourite. I've left my best till last. Brennan Johnson. Less than 1% of owners have him in their teams, selected by 0.7% of managers. He is 5.8 million. He's had 53 points. He's got 53 points this season, and he's had 1 goal and 5 assists. His minutes are improving. This was one of my biggest concerns about bringing Brennan in. He played 81 minutes in game week 20 against Bournemouth, 69 minutes against Brighton in game week 19, and he played the full 90 in game week 18 against Everton. He is one, again, that you wouldn't really mind benching too much because he's not necessarily... I don't know whether I'd say he's not necessarily nailed, but there is still a bit of a concern about whether or not Johnson is going to get the minutes in. But I think he's just a really, really fun punt. And again, I really like having a differential in my team. I think Brennan Johnson, I'm drawn to him because of that. Obviously, he's also ex-Forest, so we've got that little alliance going on. He's had 3 assists in the last 3 game weeks, and he's definitely one, I think, not a priority transfer imminently, but I would consider him if I was on my wild card, and he kind of enables you to upgrade elsewhere. I think he's a really nice pick, and we've been through Spurs' fixtures already, but they look okay. And if you're feeling like you want to spice up your team a little bit, stay away from the Bowens and the kind of normal picks, popular picks, I think Brennan Johnson is one that could do very well, and it will be a nice surprise. They are the midfielders that I have got my eye on. Do let me know what you think of my selection in the comments. I wanted to try and spice things up a bit with a few differentials, so we will see how they get on in the next couple of game weeks. Thank you so much for watching. Apologies for the sound. I've lost my microphone, so that's why we're using the headphones. But from next week, we will have a good microphone and good quality, and hopefully be back on track. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my team selection video later on this week.